summer of 1975 arrives and scares people away from the beaches. This Beachside Summer Horror collaboration celebrates the 50th anniversary of Jaws. Sadly, this project was plagued by one problem after another. From the base tray mold warping on the sides, the UV resin not holding bits down, to 3 corrupted video files. Since I've lost most of the videos showing how I made it, here's a quick rundown of what I did. I poured a clear tray. Once that cured, I demolded and mixed sand in with some resin. I used tan sand mixed with some white gravel and some Epsom salt for the beach itself. I shaped the beach, putting the gravel bits on the bottom just to give the beach some height. I mixed the rest of that sand mixture in with a bit of black sand, and then I made a cup of just the black sand itself. I started at the other end of the tray, laying down a layer of the black sand, and then put the mix of sands in the center, and then sort of mix the edges in together, kind of like you would with an ombre. Then I started using UV resin to hold the shark down and a few people on the beach. I put in a layer of blue resin and watched the shark pop up that I had used UV resin to hold down. So I laid some plastic over the corner and put something heavy on top of the shark. I came back when it was mostly cured to find the plastic had touched the resin and gave it a bit of a rippled texture look around the shark. Oh, I forgot to mention that with the first layer, I put in a sunken, damaged boat and some bloody body parts and the swimming victim that's in front of the shark. Since the ripples were around the shark, I painted on some white alcohol ink for waves, and then some red alcohol ink around his mouth and a bloody pool around the victim. I used UV resin to hold down. I mixed more resin, and I carefully put it around the people so some would look wet. Then I added blue to the rest and poured it in. I tried to add some small waves to the beach, but in the end you couldn't really see much of it. I sprinkled some sand and Epsom salt on the fresh resin beach, and then I cleared the sand off of where I saw that it had dripped onto some of the people. So while we're waiting on my video to catch up to my voiceover, give you a little bit of some trivia for the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So the gal that played Chrissy Watkins wasn't an actual actress. She's the skinny dipper that we see in the opening sequence who gets killed by the shark. She was actually a swimsuit model, not an actress. Shooting that sequence was grueling work for her, apparently. To achieve the effect of being dragged around the ocean by the shark, she was attached to underwater ropes, and 5 crew members on either side pulled her left and right. I remember watching a interview with her where she talked about she thought she was going to drown, and that she ended up with whiplash, and they didn't like the sounds, the screams that she was making, so they did a voiceover of her screaming while they poured water down her throat. So the movie's most famous scare was shot as an afterthought. It's the moment towards the middle to end where Hooper goes below and comes across the fisherman Ben Gardner's head. It's one of the most famous jump scares in movie history, but it wasn't in the script. Spielberg had the idea when he saw the movie play to a test audience in theaters and thought, I can get one more scare in there. He approached Universal, who, due to the film running way over budget and schedule, refused to pay for it. So Spielberg paid $3,000 out of his own pocket to shoot the scene. It was filmed at editor Verna Field's home in her outdoor pool. To make the clear water of the pool appear more realistic, they poured in a vat of milk to create the murky, ocean-like effect. Frankly, the thought of going diving in something like that is just quite disgusting. We are now in the home stretch. One last batch of blue resin for water. One last addition of waves. I sped this up because no one needs to see me do this over and over and over again. So as soon as I'm done futzing around with this, there we go, I'm adding in the last batch of waves that you mostly will not see, sadly. I've never been very good at waves. Here I'm just torching, getting off the blush that was on top, and now we're into the final pictures. I hope that you liked this make. I hope you go and watch Jaws. And most of all, I hope that you go and watch all the other videos in this collaboration. Have a good summer. Watch out for those sharks. Bye.